hope you get to start your day like I do, with some rest, some peaceful thoughts, prayers. This is my prayer chair. That's what I lovingly refer to it as. It's where I start every day. And I thought it'd be a good place to talk to you about prayer. We have been talking the last couple of weeks at Ordinary Faith about the prayer pathway, and encouraging you and inviting you to take that trip with us. I know for me, this is a big step to lead Ordinary Faith into a building program. Confident that this is what the Father wants us to do. Excited that building a facility is going to give us a chance to train and mentor the next generation into discipleship, into worship, and into a future where God is glorified and magnified. So this project, this will give us a place to do that ministry from. To do that, we all have to pull together. We need help, not just from ourselves. We'll need God to provide from other places as well. But the truth is that this kind of a project, we all have to invest in and contribute to and be a part of. The reward of accomplishment is mighty and significant when you're part of that accomplishment and not just an observer. So I'm inviting you to pray. And the prayer pathway is pretty simple. First, you just start by praying. Open up a dialogue with God about your giving, not just financially, but your serving, the things you do with Ordinary Faith, the way you encourage people, but yes, about your giving as well, and to begin to have that dialogue. And then when you have that dialogue, it's time to listen to what God has to say, because this is a conversation. This isn't a 5-minute prayer, one and done kind of thing, because when God works with us and God guides us through this process into something that's just going to take miracles to accomplish, it's very important for us to realize that we have to walk through the levels of giving, of sacrifice, those kind of things. For example, it's easy to give from your head. What I mean? Well, when I give from my head, I'm giving logically what I can give, what I think is a good gift, what I can afford. It doesn't stretch me very much. And so that's a good way to give. It's not a bad way to give. It's a good beginning, but it's pretty safe. But then we also give from what we have in our hand. And our hand could be our skills. It could be equipment that we could use for this project. It could be service that we could give to strengthen the larger church and children's ministry and the giving ministry and the hospitality ministries. And so we can give from our hands things that we have, maybe assets that we could also donate to the cause as well. And that's good, and that's deeper, and that's more impactful to us personally, but it's still fairly safe. And then there's giving from the heart. And that's the kind of giving you find in 1 Corinthians chapter 8. That's the kind of giving that becomes sacrificial. It's the kind of giving that's beyond what we're able to do and leans into what God is able to do. I believe that in order for Ordinary Faith to have this miracle of a facility, that we will all have a series of miracles that will make that happen. And I know it's a little intimidating, but I was talking to Paul Pertelli, who's serving as our church treasurer right now. And he said to me, every church in town has had to do this, has done this, and God has worked a miracle for every one of them. Why not us? And I thought, that's fabulous. We just need to remember that our Father loves us, and this is something He wants to do for us. So once you start that conversation and you begin to listen and you start to get answers, then it's time to act. Then it's time to step out in faith, step into a raging sea as Peter did, to step into a moment of faith and watch what God does. Because then God is going to pour out His strength, pour out His blessing, pour out miracles. And as we get to watch God work, then what I want to ask you to do is to begin to share those stories, because I know God's going to do miraculous things in all of our lives. And I want all of us to share those stories. I know Build Ordinary Faith is a huge undertaking, and I don't want you worried. I don't want you frightened. I don't want you anxious. I want to join God in His peace as He works His miracles. I want this whole thing to be an act of worship, not an act of stress. And so I pray that you would begin at the throne room and start and open a conversation with your Father.